It's hard to believe today that the Naganadi river, which snakes through the northern part of Tamilnadu, was once dry and dead. Kumudha Pannir Selvam, one of the resolute women of Vellore district who brought back the river to life, was a young girl when it began to disappear.
நான் சின்ன வயசில் இருக்கும்போது இந்த கிணறு தோண்டினாங்க, ஆளை வச்சு தோண்டினதே எங்களை மாதிரியே தோண்டினாங்க, தண்ணி வந்தது. அப்புறமா நிலத்துல எல்லாம் பயிர் வச்சாங்க. அப்புறமா மழை வராதனால தண்ணி இல்லாத போயிடுச்சு. அப்புறமா போர் போட்டு அப்புறமா தண்ணி வந்தது, பயிர் வைக்கிறாங்க.
At the time, farmers in the region relied heavily on cash crops like paddy, wheat and pulses that required an abundance of water to thrive. And digging deeper and deeper every year meant that the groundwater was steadily declining. By the early 2000s, the Naganadi river was no more. In 2014, however, after years of hardship, things began to slowly change. With the help of a local NGO, the women in the village decided to come together to replenish the groundwater and resurrect the river that once served almost like a lifeline.
When we started working in this area, right, when the positive change, it kind of brought a lot of attention. It turned out to be a miracle for some people, but it's very signs of how the whole hydrological cycle works. And the best part was that women folks around who are working could see the dramatic changes in terms of how groundwater situation is changing, how their situation associated to the water is changing. So that kind of moved the women folks to join more, and we need not have to do too much of hard selling in terms of why we need to do this and all that. So some positive results on the neighboring could they used to come along, right? I mean, they should say that we want to work into this project, and that's a kind of how the whole strength came along.
The process was simple but labor intensive. The women worked long hours to build deep trenches in the ground called recharge wells that would trap water, draw it underground and store it until needed. Once the groundwater was replenished and when the rains came, the river started to flow again.
கை கால் வலிக்குது, மூச்சு அடிக்குது, அதில் படியில் ஏறுறது மூச்சு அடிக்கல, அந்த மாதிரி கொஞ்ச நேரம் நிதானமாக செஞ்சுன்னு வரோம். கொஞ்சம் நேரம் ரெஸ்ட் எடுத்துக்கிறோம், அப்புறமா மண் எடுத்துக்கிறோம்.
Over the last 4 years, these women have built more than 600 recharge wells and planted hundreds of drought-resistant saplings along the river basin. The Naganadi River Rejuvenation Project is carried out as part of the National Employment Generation Program, which supports work to build the country's commons. A steady source of income has ensured that these women enjoy some amount of financial independence. The success story in Kumudha's village has also been drawing women from neighboring villages to come forward and work. The project has so far helped nearly 60,000 people like Kumudha, Saraswati and their families. With nearly 9,000 hectares of agricultural land reclaimed and a staggering 6-meter rise in groundwater levels, they have brought a dead river back to life. And they continue to do all they can to make sure their children don't endure the hardship they did.